Welcome to the instructional video for the LEGO Robotics Engineering course. This is part 2, and in part 2 we'll be discussing how to add the motors to your basic LEGO structure. So here we have our motors, we have 2 more structure pieces, and we have 2 more Legos that do have the holes on the side. And we're going to add these to our structure. To give you somewhat of an idea, it's really adding this bridge on the bottom of your Lego going across. We're trying to add that bridge, and then we put our structure pieces on top of it. And now that we have them all set up, it really holds the motors in very nicely. So that's going to be the portion of this video that we're talking about. Very easy to do is to problem solve this situation, to find a Lego that fits perfectly inside of there. The length of that Lego should fit perfectly inside. Because what you're going to do is you're going to create a bridge for these 2 motors. Now, show you the motors. You see how they're wobbling? The reason they're wobbling is because underneath them there is a little area that is curved. And that area is actually curved lower than a Lego can actually fit into it. So you can't actually put a Lego right on top of it. It won't connect. The Legos will connect sideways, and they will connect in front of that curved piece. So you can do it like this, you can do it like this, you can do it like this, but you can't go across that curved part. So because of that, you have to create this bridge, this structure underneath the motors. These motors, if I had to pick an analogy, let's say it was your heart. And if your heart stops working, you stop working. Well, if these motors don't work correctly, your robot doesn't work correctly. So it's got to be put together perfectly. Now what we need to do is figure out where we want to position our motors first. So I'll take those 2 out of there. And let's say I want my motors to be in the center of my structure. I'll put both motors into the center. And once I know that they're lined up, underneath them doesn't have any support. So if I just laid into a little power there, it would just fall. So I don't want to, have that happen. So if it just falls, it's not really structurally sound. So what we want to do is create that structure by adding these Legos underneath and create the bridge. And it will click into place there. And now, like I said in the first video, every time there's a joint where the 2 Legos join together, you have to have some sort of structure to kind of hold them all together. Because even if I don't do this, it still pops on and goes lower than that. It's not really supported very well. So even though these Legos are doing a good job at holding our motors up, they're not supported underneath with a support bracket, and we need one. We actually have 2 that happen to be the perfect size of your motors. They're exactly the same size as your motors, and they go underneath your motors, connecting everything together. These 2 Legos to these 2 Legos, kind of bringing it all together as one. And when you're done with that, you'll have a setup that holds your motors in place. And you can see I can add the pressure on now, and it doesn't fall anywhere. And now I have a supported system for my motors, which is extremely important, and probably the most important part of your actual robot is making sure that those motors are 100% supported.